Hey everybody, it's Randy with Carchaeology, and I wanted to share some images from last weekend's events. We hit two different car shows last weekend. One was the Jolla Motor Classic at the Viejas Resort down in Alpine, California, and this is something that is thrown by the folks that do the La Jolla Concours event. And they didn't have their concours this year because of COVID stuff. So this was, their runner-up event there at Las Viejas. And it was a beautiful event with a fantastic bunch of cars. Really nice variety. We brought the Myers-Manx Resorter down there. Certainly the only Dune buggy there at the concours. But it was fun to bring it out, and it was well received. People seemed to enjoy the car and had a good laugh about it. There were motorcycles as well as classics, exotics, European cars, just about everything you could imagine. There was definitely something there for everybody. There was a large contingent of Mustang people there. This little sprint car was absolutely dazzling, beautifully done historic race car. The details on it just really had me going for a long time. Beautifully done. And the other star of the show was this Mercedes 500K Special Roadster. Now this is a spectacular car that was restored over 30 years ago and is still in fantastic condition. In fact, this car won Best of Show at the Quail Motorsports gathering this year. Unfortunately, the car wouldn't start, so we had to push it up here onto the grass, but lots of willing hands were able to do that, and it was fun to take a look at that car up close. Interesting motorcycles, crazy artwork on this particular one. Lots of people out there detailing their babies, making them look nice, and waiting for the judges to come by to do their thing. Again, the variety was just spectacular, from a Zimmer Golden Spirit to this cool British truck. There was definitely something there for everybody. 190 SL Mercedes was quite pretty. I think one of my favorites was this little Mini Cooper. It was just so period perfect and beautiful condition. Great little details on it. That's the car that I would most want to drive out of there. This Buick Special actually won Best of Show at the event. And it was a really beautifully done custom by some folks. I think they were from Hungary or something like that, somewhere in Europe. And they had brought the car here to California. They've started up a hot rod shop of sorts, and that was their pleasure project there, and it did quite well. This Hupmobile Skylark hot rod was beautifully done. Very similar body to the Cord of the era. This Corvair had a V8 stuck behind the seats there, and it was quite mental. Loved this big crazy Chrysler, a couple of modern Rolls Royces there, Screaming Chicken on the hood of this beautiful Trans Am, all original car, still with that silver leather interior. This Cord had some amazing details. This car was restored by the owner's father over a period of about 30 years, and it was absolutely spectacular, and it was fun to see that car run and drive. Some more details of the Mercedes. I spent a lot of time looking at that car, trying to get some tips for the Mercedes we have in the lab right now. Certainly not the same breed, but from the same family. Modern Ferraris out there, everybody polishing up those prancing horses. Some beautiful Porsches, my goofy Dune buggy here being judged, and of course it's no show car, and so I'm sure it did very poorly in the judging. I didn't dare look at the score sheet afterwards, but it was fun to have it out there among the cars. Let's see, what else do we have here? This was a Toyota Celica that was the nicest one I think I've ever seen. There was a flyover of vintage aircraft at one point. Anyway, it was just a beautiful day out. And then the next Sunday was the Friends of Steve McQueen event at the Boys Republic in Chino, California. And again, I brought the Dune buggy out there. The Manx Club had a special display. We parked the cars on the volleyball court there in the sand. I got there bright and early, walked around. There's Steve McQueen's XKSS Mercedes, which was totally awesome to see up close. What a car. Very broad contingent of muscle cars and hot rods of all shapes and sizes, from your Mercury lead sleds to crazy pickups with blown big blocks in them. Everywhere you looked, there was creativity on wheels. This all-black Lincoln was extremely sinister looking with its red interior, black wheels, and crazy stance. Beautiful paint on that. The motorcycles were really spectacular. Some of these early Bultaco bikes that were there, this one in particular, was absolutely like jewelry. The detailing on this bike was insane. David Baker definitely doing fine work there on this particular bike. Loved the gold leaf on the numbering. And then this Bultaco there as well was really beautiful. Anyway, there were Volkswagens in attendance, a really large Porsche selection of all shapes and sizes. The theme this year was Le Mans, and there were a couple of Le Mans cars there. The Ford GT40 was a spectacular car to see up close, as well as this. There. They also had cars inside the tent that were part of a raffle, or actually not a raffle, but a charity auction, and they auctioned off some of those vehicles that were in the tent there. I think I went back to that to see some more. But anyway, this car from the Great Race was spectacular. I loved watching all the cars roll in, bright and early, all these machines rolling onto the lawn, people wiping them down and enjoying a day with their toys. It was fairly cool in the morning, but by the end of the day, it was smoking hot out there. I absolutely couldn't wait to get back in some air-conditioned comfort. There were tractors and farm implements there. Vintage motorhomes and trailers were on display. That rig owned by my buddy Jeff was pretty spectacular. Cool old boat. There were drag cars there. They had a cackle fest where they fired up some of these things. Shirley Muldowney's dragster was there, and that was a pretty spectacular thing to see up close. The drag race guys actually even did a demonstration where they pulled one of these drag motors apart completely down to the block and then put it back together and started it up again while the crowd watched. And it was really, really fun to see. I love the funny cars. The altereds, all of this stuff was really fun to see. Let's see, that was some burnt rubber on some sort of Hellcat. Lots of great Porsches, some really interesting ones, including this 928 that had been turned into a convertible by Maverick Nehemiah. And absolutely insane, over the top, very unique car all the way around. I really enjoyed it and hearing from him. I like to see somebody do something outside of the box, and he certainly did that with that car. Loved that Woody rolling in. I remember it won an award at the end of the day. This Triumph, actually, I had seen the day before at the La Jolla event, so it was kind of fun that there were a couple of us that hit both shows. Now, this is a fundraiser event for the Boys Republic there in Chino, which is, it's a school and kind of rehabilitation thing for troubled youth. They've been around for many, many years. I think they started in 1908, so almost over 100 years they have been doing their thing. Maybe it's 1918. In any case, they've been around for a long time, and they were also a place that Steve McQueen went as a youth. And that's he's probably one of their most famous alumni of that. And this event is probably one of their major fundraisers for the year. And last year, not being able to have it with COVID, it was certainly a breath of fresh air to them and their pocketbooks. They're a great school. They're doing cool stuff. The trophies were fantastic. Every single one is hand-built out of different car parts. Certainly some of the most unique trophies at the SoCal car shows. I'm kind of bouncing around here through the images, no rhyme or reason to it, but you get the idea as to what's there. And if you see your favorite in any of this, please post in the comments which car you would most want to drive home from this event. Let's see here. Crazy big Lincoln convertible, nice 50s Vet. Here's an Oldsmobile, nice Chevy rat rod truck. That was a really nice little Ford truck with the Triumph in the back. This was a really artistic kind of steampunk motorcycle that was in the array. Some Huskies. Of course, Steve McQueen is well known for his Husqvarnas. This Myers-Manx was a fairly interesting one. The folks claim that it was a car that was sold to Solar Productions, which was Steve McQueen's production company, and that it was actually a McQueen car. And they did have some documentation to back that up. Now, the Myers-Manx guys were there, the new owners of the company, and they had set up this massive dirt hill out there and were doing demonstration runs with this recently built, very stock and simple Myers-Manx dune buggy. And I went out there to watch them do their thing, tried to get some photos. They gave a few people rides out there. You kind of had to be somebody to get a ride out there. This particular passenger is Pete McNulty. He's one of the folks from the Porsche 356 Club. Oh, actually, I take that back. No, this little downhill here, that's actually Chase McQueen. That's Steve McQueen's grandson that came out to the event. And so there he is, standing there by the dune buggy. So Chase had a chance to ride there. There's Magnus Walker walking by. Here's some more runs from Freeman Thomas. He's the CEO of the new Myers-Manx company and a very well-known automotive designer. And it was fun to see him get his little kid out and play, try to catch a little air with the dune buggy out there in the dirt. In any case, I shot some video of this as well, but I don't want this to go on for too long. So anyway, here's a few still shots of that action, including, are you ready? Here we go. Some proper air in the Myers-Manx. Anyway, fantastic day out. Had a blast. It was a very full weekend, very tiring by the end of it, especially in dealing with the heat up here in Chino towards the end of the day. But definitely proof that the automotive scene in Southern California is alive and well, and that there are an awful lot of crazy things to see. So please get out there, see it all, enjoy your cars. Thanks very much for watching. Keep on digging them up and driving them. Bye-bye.